Hey everybody, welcome to the THB Sports Awards pre-show as we are getting ready for the fourth annual THB Sports Awards here live from the Herald Bulletin offices in beautiful downtown Anderson. We have a very cool pre-show lined up for you guys. We're going to be showcasing different photos from the best of area sports throughout this past year as we get ready for tonight's presentation. We'll also have a video from our sponsors at Pizza Hut that helped to make tonight's award show happen. So sit back, relax, grab your beverages, and get ready. The THB Sports Awards are now only about 10 minutes away. All right, this is the pre-show for the fourth annual THB Sports Awards here live from the Herald Bulletin offices in downtown Anderson. We are showcasing photos from the best in area sports throughout the year as we get ready for tonight's presentation, which is now just a few minutes away. We kick things off at the top of the hour with the fourth annual THB Sports Awards. Welcome back to the pre-show for the fourth annual THB Sports Awards. We're going to get the official ceremony underway in about 5 minutes. At this time, we'd like to present a video from our proud sponsors at Pizza Hut, one of the fine sponsors that helped to make this event possible.
Good evening to all of our great sports fans and our wonderful athletes of Madison County. We want to first thank the Herald Bulletin for creating this event and hopefully for many more years to come. We also want to thank the parents of the athletes for the time, the care that you've given your children at this level. This is our fourth year of being the key sponsor of this event, and we're so proud to help and recognize these outstanding athletes of Madison County.
Next, we want to recognize the championships of the Madison County basketball tournament this year. Pendleton Heights boys won the boys tournament, and the girls championship went to Anderson High School Indians. Here are the trophies that will be given to the athletic directors in the coming weeks.
I also want to give a shout out to Jimmy Jackhow for his incredible job and achievements that he has done for coaching for so many years. Jimmy's actually the one that got us involved in the tournament 7 years ago. Enjoy retirement, Jimmy, and all those grandkids. I also want to recognize the late, great John Broughton. Pendleton and the surrounding areas lost a great leader and a mentor to many administrators at his time at Pendleton. His legacy will live on. Now that COVID is almost over, we hope we can bring back this live event at the Paramount next year. Congratulations to all, and we'll see you later.
Event possible. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. What are you going to do? Things will happen. As we get this fixed, the pre-show is going to roll on. More photos from the best in area athletics as we get ready for the THB Sports Awards in just a few minutes. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2021 THB Sports Awards. We are live from the Herald Bulletin offices in beautiful downtown Anderson. This is the 4th annual THB Sports Awards, and I am honored to once again be your host. I am Zach Johnson, local radio personality. You may know me from 104.9 Work FM or 93.5 Max Classic Rock, but the thing I'm proudest of in my radio career is being the voice of area high school athletics on 103.7 FM and 1240 AM WHB, the second oldest radio station in Indiana. And I'm honored to once again be the host of the THB Sports Awards. And obviously, I am not alone. I've got two very good friends alongside to help me host this year's award show. From the Herald Bulletin sports staff, we have the editor of the Herald Bulletin Sports Department, also Ace Colts beat writer for CNHI Media, Mr. George Brimmer.
Zach, glad to have you back. Take some of the load off of me and Rob.
And alongside my other co-host for this evening's festivities, he is one of the best high school sports reporters I have ever met, hands down. And I am not just saying that to blow smoke. It's legitimate. Mr. Rob Hunt.
Zach, thanks for being here again this year. And I'm glad you were able to rest up, take a year off, and you're fully energized for tonight. We could tell before the show you're ready to go.
Oh yeah, I was disappointed that I wasn't able to be here in person last year. Honored to be here again as we recognize the best in area athletics. I don't know of any other community that really does an award show quite like what we do with the THB Sports Awards as we get ready to enter the 4th year. This is awesome.
It is awesome. Rob, before we get started, you want to tell everyone what your shirt represents?
I went a little more casual than my counterparts here tonight. I'm wearing my Team Live shirt, which I just picked up today. Thank you, Julie Reese, for allowing me to get this early. For those of you who don't know, Elwood 3-star athlete Olivia Shannon was in an accident over the 4th of July weekend. Suffered some severe injuries to her pitching hand. She's a star pitcher for the Elwood softball team. Bought this shirt. It says Team Live. The comeback is always stronger than the setback, which we certainly hope is true for Olivia. Want to give her a shout out and best wishes. I believe she is on her way home. She checked out this morning, coming home from Colorado. So I'm guessing geography isn't necessarily my strongest suit, but I'm guessing Nebraska, Kansas, maybe she may be along in that area. So be careful, drive safe coming home.
The important thing is she's checked out and she's on her way back home. That's the important part.
Yeah, and reach out to Julie Reese if you're interested in buying a shirt. $10. And all the proceeds go to help her and her family in this time of need.
That's awesome stuff. And that's the type of stuff we do. We love to support and lift up our area athletes in any way we can. We also want to thank the sponsors that help us to do so with this year's THB Sports Awards. Thank you to our presenting sponsor for this year's event, Pizza Hut, alongside the Madison County Community Foundation, the City of Anderson, and our Mayor, Thomas J. Broderick Jr., Prairie Farms, and also our representatives, Terry Austin and Representative Bob Cherry. They are helping to make it happen. Thank you to all of our incredible sponsors for helping to make this event happen, even if we are doing it in the virtual setting. Once again, we appreciate them helping to make it possible, because without the support of those sponsors, we wouldn't be here right now doing this award show here this evening. And speaking of the award show, you can be involved in this year's THB Sports Awards. Chime in on social media. Use the hashtag THB Sports Awards if you want to chime in, give your thoughts on social media. You can also comment on the video on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Herald Bulletin. You can chime in there as you watch along with us. Share the video with friends and family so that they can all be a part of this, and we can make this a big group celebration of all the best in high school athletics, both on and off the field of play. And we're also going to be recognizing some of the people behind the scenes as well, with things like our Heart Sports Award and also like recognizing the Coach of the Year. So this we cover all bases with this award show.
And one other thing, if you are a finalist tonight, have your phone ready. When we announce the winner, I will text a link to the winner. Yes, I've got all your phone numbers, and we will text a link so you can join the chat, and not only join the chat, but come on screen, interview. We'd like to talk to you live here on during the award show.
That's very cool. We're going to give our winners the opportunity to actually join us during the broadcast. So, gentlemen, what do you say? Are we ready to get into it and present our first award of the evening?
Let's give out some awards.
Let's hand out some hardware.
And our first awards that we have up this year are very special awards. They are the Johnny Wilson Awards, and these are awards, guys, that are very difficult to pick every year.
Very difficult to qualify for. I mean, we talk. you're going to hear say again and again, it's an honor just to be nominated. Everybody who gets their name called tonight in any form or fashion, has traveled a long, hard road to get here. When it goes to Johnny Wilson Awards, that might be even more true. It is so hard. You have to get at least two varsity letters in each of 3 sports. It's a very difficult award to even get nominated for. There are no losers. There are only winners here tonight.
That's something we're going to say about every award. I think there are 3 finalists, except for in the bigger awards, but the other awards where there are 3 finalists, they're all winners. We have to pick one because we put ourselves in that position. Sometimes we regret, but we had some spirited conversations about all of these awards. Don't think that any of these are easy or that they were given a given as far as who's going to win. We had and we start right off the bat with, in my opinion, George, you go back further in this award than I do. This is my 4th year. This is the most stacked girls Johnny Wilson Award finalist list I've seen in my 4 years.
Get no disagreement from me.
Yeah, so why don't we jump into it? We are going to lead things off with the girls Johnny Wilson Award nominees. Our first nominee, Zoe Bennett from Madison Grant. She's an academic all-state athlete in basketball and cross country. She has earned a total of 12 varsity letters, with softball being her 3rd sport. She averaged 8.2 points and 7.4 rebounds for the Argyle's basketball team. And for softball, she hit .375 while leading the sectional champion softball team with 24 RBIs. Zoe Barnett of Madison Grant. Our next nominee, Lauren Bates from Frankton. Just a junior, she's already helped Frankton win a volleyball sectional and advance to the girls basketball state finals in 2020. She's also earned all conference mentions in 3 sports, including tennis, and has tallied a total of 8 varsity letters so far. For the 2021 sectional championship basketball team, she scored 11.4 points and averaged 9 rebounds with 3.7 assists. Lauren Bates from Frankton. Our next nominee, Madeline Carpenter from LaPel. She has garnered 11 varsity letters, earning all THB honors in volleyball, gymnastics, and softball. She recorded 46 aces and 220 digs for the volleyball team and hit 382 with 4 home runs for the softball team. In gymnastics, she was sectional all-around champion and advanced to the state finals, where she earned all-state with a 3rd place finish in the vault. Madeline Carpenter from LaPel. Up next, Olivia Covert from Daleville. She's earned 6 varsity letters, 2 each, in basketball, cross country, and track over her 3 years. She qualified for cross country regional and was a member of the 2019 basketball sectional championship team. She won the track team's mental attitude award and was all conference in cross country. Olivia Covert from Daleville. Jaylee Crawford from Elwood is our next nominee for the Johnny Wilson Award. She earned 9 varsity letters and has distinguished herself on both the basketball and volleyball courts, as well as on the softball diamond. She averaged 16.3 points and 9.6 rebounds for the basketball team and led the volleyball Panthers with 220 kills and 31 blocks. This spring, she hit .522 with 10 doubles and 29 RBI. Jaylee Crawford from Elwood. Our next nominee, Kylie Davis from Pendleton Heights, who has earned 10 varsity letters at PHHS, 4 each in softball and basketball, and 2 in soccer. She was all HCC in soccer and softball and scored 1,000 career points in basketball. And she was first team All-State as well as a North-South All-Star in softball, where she was the 2021 THB Sports Softball Player Athlete of the Year. And next up, Ireland Evans from Liberty Christian. She's earned 12 varsity letters at Liberty Christian, 4 each in basketball and cheerleading, and 2 each in soccer and volleyball. She was all PAAC honorable mention in basketball and has been a contributor to 2 sectional champion soccer teams. She earned all THB honors after scoring a goal and handing out 3 assists while competing against co-ed teams. Up next, Erica Hill from Shenandoah. She's now a 2-time state shot put champion who also made the podium in the discus. She earned 12 varsity letters, 4 each for basketball, volleyball, and track and field. She holds the school volleyball kills record and the basketball rebounds record. She's a 3-time sectional shot put and 1-time sectional champion in the discus. Erica Hill from Shenandoah. Up next, Grayson Hosier from Alexandria. She earned 12 varsity letters as a 4-year member of the tennis, golf, and basketball teams and has been a part of 2 Alexandria Triple Crown champions, counting conference and sectional for the tennis team, and has earned honorable mention all CIC honors in golf. And for this year's 22-3 basketball team, she averaged 5 points per game. Grayson Hosier from Alexandria. Our next Girls Johnny Wilson Award nominee, Elena Munoz from Anderson. She played #1 doubles for the Anderson tennis team this season and earned her 3rd varsity letter in the sport. She's also earned 2 each for volleyball and swimming, where she swam the 100-meter butterfly for the Indians at sectional this season. She was also named Academic All-Conference in both swimming and tennis. Elena Munoz from Anderson. And those are our finalists for the Girls Johnny Wilson Award. And it is time to present the winner of the Girls Johnny Wilson Award. And Mr. Hunt, I believe you have the envelope, sir, the golden envelope to unveil the winner.
The golden envelope with the golden prize. We ready to get this party started? I mean, we've already started, but to really kick it off here?
I mean, we just went through an absolutely stacked field, so I think we're ready to find out who is the winner of the Girls Johnny Wilson Award.
The 2021 Johnny Wilson Award for girls is Miss Erica Hill from Shenandoah.
Erica Hill from Shenandoah, our winner of the Girls Johnny Wilson Award. And guys, like we said, an absolutely stacked field, but a very, very deserving winner in Erica Hill, an athlete that I think all of us have been honored and pleased to be able to cover over the course of her career.
Yeah, I mean, she's been such a great kid off the court as well as on the playing field, and 2 state championships, would have been 3. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. She was going to be a 3-time state champion. Only COVID. That's the only thing that's been able to stop Erica Hill in the shot put in the state of Indiana. And
yeah, and the only thing that ever slowed her down. I mean, you talk about just an absolute dynamo on the volleyball court, and really just an absolute mismatch on the basketball court, a matchup nightmare with her size, strength, agility. She has every athletic thing you want. I mean, she is the whole package. And like you said, off the court, off the field, as good a person as you're going to find as well. Very humble, even in her success. One of the things about the volleyball team, she's such a big hitter, but they had injuries late in the year. Didn't have a setter. She stepped in and pinch hit in that role as well.
She really was an all-tool player. So congratulations, Erica Hill, our 2021 Johnny Wilson Award winner for girls. And honestly, guys, for the boys, just as difficult. I mean, when you really look at it, another stacked field of gentlemen that are contenders for the boys Johnny Wilson Award.
Once again, an elite group. I mean, just to be mentioned, you're going to give these nominees here in a minute. Just to be a part of this slideshow means you've accomplished quite a bit in your high school career.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think for the second year in a row, this was the longest conversation.
Yep.
As far as picking a winner, it wasn't easy last year, and it wasn't again this year. And awards overall took us 2 days of conversations to get all the winners decided. So yeah, let's go. Let's get this next one underway, a big one.
So without further ado, again, here are the nominees for the boys Johnny Wilson Award. Up first, Andrew Bennett from Shenandoah. Basketball was Andrew Bennett's top focus. He had 4 letters there, but he grabbed 12 letters overall with the Raiders across 5 different sports. He had 3 each in football and golf and 1 each in tennis and track and field. He was 19-2 as the number 3 singles player his freshman year and scored 1,296 points over the course of his basketball career and was part of 2 Henry County golf championships. Andrew Bennett from Shenandoah. Up next, Aiden Brobston from Frankton. He earned 11 varsity letters, 4 in basketball, 3 each for tennis and track, and 1 for golf. And he played all 4 sports his sophomore year. He was part of the 2019 semi-state basketball team, and this season led the Eagles with 14.3 points and 7.7 rebounds per game. He was also part of Frankton's conference and sectional championship 4x400 relay team. Aiden Brobston of Frankton. Our next nominee for the Boys Johnny Wilson Award, Curtis Lewis of Anderson. He's a 7-time letter winner for Anderson. He utilized his talents for track and field, football, and basketball for the Indians. He was limited by injuries, but he still managed to score 2.4 points for the basketball team this season, and he was also the leading receiver for the football team in the fall with 22 receptions for a total of 193 yards and a touchdown. Curtis Lewis of Anderson. Our next nominee for the Boys Johnny Wilson Award, Will Rutherford of Elwood, the lone junior to be nominated for the Boys Award this year. He was a starter this year for football, basketball, and baseball, while also playing as the Panthers' #1 golfer this spring. And as the starting quarterback, he threw for 10 touchdowns and rushed for 8 of his own. He averaged 7.6 points and 3 rebounds per game for the basketball team as well. Will Rutherford from Elwood. Jack Scott from Anderson Prep Academy. He has earned 11 varsity letters for APA, 4 in basketball, 3 each in soccer and baseball, and 1 for cross country. It was part of the most successful soccer team in school history. He is also the all-time leading scorer and rebounder and earned all-conference in basketball and baseball after hitting 460 this spring. Jack Scott from Anderson Prep Academy. Up next for the Boys Johnny Wilson Award, Aiden Smith from Liberty Christian. He's a 3-time soccer sectional champ and 2-time all-conference in both baseball and soccer. He's an honorable mention academic all-state in basketball and has earned 10 varsity letters for the Lions. He hit 286 with 20 RBI this spring after scoring 4.1 points per game for the county runner-up basketball team as well. He was the defensive backbone for the soccer team. Aiden Smith from Liberty Christian. Our next nominee, Cole Stewart from Alexandria, who was named All-CIC in baseball, basketball, and football during his career, which included Alexandria's first Madison County basketball championship and the 2019 state baseball title. He hit .337 for the Tigers with 19 stolen bases. He also led the basketball team with 12.7 points per game. And despite an injury in football, he still hauled in 36 passes for 390 yards and 4 touchdowns. Cole Stewart of Alexandria. Those are our Boys Johnny Wilson Award nominees. And again, guys, holy cow, what a field of amazing student athletes for the Johnny Wilson Award.
All great kids, and their performances on the field made life fun for us during the season, made it very hard for us during winter selection time.
Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and name a winner.
Gotta pick
Somebody
one.
has to win.
Somebody has to win.
Yep.
Let's do it, Jordan.
And the 2021 Boys Johnny Wilson Award goes to Jack Scott of Anderson Preparatory Academy.
That is huge. Congratulations, Jack Scott, our winner for the 2021 Boys Johnny Wilson Award. And if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, guys, this is the first APA student to win the Boys Johnny Wilson Award. Am I correct in saying that?
Absolutely correct. I believe it's the first APA student to win a THB Sports Award.
We did have a scholar athlete a couple years ago, but yeah, and Jack, he's been so fun to watch across all sports for his 4 years. And to be honest, and kudos to Heather, by the way, we need to give her a shout out. She's the one working the controls, really making this thing go. But she pointed out during our conversation about this award, when she thinks of APA sports right now, she thinks of Jack Scott. And, you know, he was the leader on the basketball court, baseball field, played very well for a really good soccer team that kind of had its heart broken in the fall when they, because of contact tracing, they could not compete in the sectional, that they had a shot at winning.
Yeah, that they were hosting too. I mean, you talk about a heartbreaking moment there in the fall, but you know, going back to Jack kind of being the face of the APA sports department or sports program, you know, however you want to word that. I think that he's been also, and we talked about this with Erica, he's been such a huge proponent of sportsmanship. You know, he's a guy that always seemed to enjoy what he was doing, no matter what the sport was. I don't know if I ever saw Jack without a smile on his face in the middle of competition. Guys like this, that's what when I think of Johnny Wilson, that's what I think of. Johnny, you know, when he was able to come to these awards and what an honor it was to have him. always smiling, always happy, always bringing that positive vibe. And I feel like Jack Scott embodies that. Not that the other nominees don't, many of them do as well. I think that's what makes it, this year in particular, 2 great fields. And of course, they produced 2 outstanding winners.
Yeah, and both also, like I kind of mentioned with Erica as well, humble. Jack certainly is as well. And these are both athletes who, when you try to talk to them about how great they are, they defer. They want to talk about how so-and-so on the court helped them, one of their teammates or a coach that really, really pushed them. So congratulations to both Erica and Jack, outstanding Johnny Wilson winners.
Yeah, like you said, a lot of the things that we talked about for our 2 winners also apply to the ones that didn't win. I mean, like I cannot think of too many athletes, especially the ones on this list that we've covered in this area, that have that type of attitude where they want to be the center of attention. They want to be the stars. Like every time I try to interview somebody after a game on the radio broadcast or whatever, and I say, "You had a great night tonight," they always want to talk about their teammates and what they did. So fantastic student athletes all around. And that really kind of leads us into our next award that we're going to be presenting, which is the Mental Attitude Award, which recognizes athletes that display character, compassion, camaraderie, both on and off the field, even in the face of adversity and tragedy and whatever they may be going through. They show that sportsmanship, that sportsmanship spirit with the Mental Attitude Award.
Yeah, and these are always one of the tougher ones to pick as well. Along with the scholar athlete, I think. I don't know if George agrees with that, but because again, literally, you could throw these 3 names in a hat in each category and draw one out, and you've got the right choice. There are no wrong choices, but once again, we got to pick one of these 3 incredible kids. And
there's no stats here, and sometimes you can fall back on championships or points or kills or rebounds or records. And as it comes to mental attitude, it's an intangible. But I think, again, and Zach did a great job of articulating this earlier, this whole area, we are blessed with really good athletes in the mental attitude category. So these 3 finalists we're about to talk about, again, the best of the best, elite just to be named.
So let's get into it. It's time for our Mental Attitude Award presented by Representative Terry Austin and Representative Bob Cherry. We're going to lead things off with the Boys Mental Attitude Award. Our first nominee, Jacob Kinsey from Shenandoah. He set aside the desire for better statistics and embraced the team concept of Coach Dave McCullough and Shenandoah basketball. He was the 2021 THB Sports Boys Basketball Athlete of the Year and established his team goals and never wavered from the team mindset. Senior Jacob Kinsey of Shenandoah. Our next nominee for the Boys Mental Attitude Award, Will Rutherford of Elwood. He was a leader while playing 4 sports for the Panthers: football, golf, baseball, and basketball. He treats his teammates, officials, and opponents with respect and is also a 2-year member of the IHSAA's Student Advisory Committee. Will Rutherford of Elwood. And our final nominee for the Boys Mental Attitude Award, Ryan Smith of Frankton. He was a role player for the Frankton baseball and basketball teams, but never complained about his minutes on the court. He ranked 11th in his class and is credited with being uplifting for his teammates and always positive and mentally strong. Ryan Smith of Frankton. Again, those are our nominees for the Boys Mental Attitude Award, sponsored by Representative Terry Austin and Representative Bob Cherry. And again, guys, what a we said it. It's tough to even narrow it down just to the 3 finalists in this category, but 3 very strong finalists in this category for the Boys Mental Attitude Award.
There's not a coach in the area who wouldn't want one of those 3 guys in their locker room, and it wouldn't even matter what sport.
No, and again, these a lot of these were students that participate in multiple sports, so they contributed in multiple ways. Rob, you've got the golden envelope, so without further ado, let's reveal our Boys Mental Attitude Award winner.
All right, the 2021 Boys Mental Attitude Award, sponsored by Representative Terry Austin and Representative Bob Cherry, is from Shenandoah, Jacob Kinsey.
Congratulations to Jacob Kinsey, and again, a very difficult award to narrow down, but a very good winner and recipient of the Boys Mental Attitude Award. Congratulations, Jacob Kinsey of the Shenandoah Raiders.
Yeah, I think Jacob is one of those guys that was always fun to talk to after a game. That's what I think I'll remember about him most. As all the basketball players at Shenandoah and most of the athletes in the area are, very much deflecting the praise to all of his teammates. But I do think that's a family over there too, that to editorialize for a little while. I can remember back to when, his father Brent was coaching at Shenandoah. His brother was an outstanding player there as well. It's just a great family. And obviously Shenandoah has been on quite a roll recently as an entire athletic department. So Jacob just adds his name to the list of accomplishments they've been rolling through here the last 4 or 5 years.
I'll throw in one more tidbit about Brent. He's one of the louder dads in the stands, and one of the few that I don't look at and shake my head like, what are you talking about? That dude knows what he's talking about. If he yelled that the call was wrong, it was wrong. But just really a really nice family all the way around. I remember Chase came up. He was an Elite 11 when I first came on board. Jacob was our player of the year this year, but just a very unselfish kid. Probably could have scored 25 points or more per game for a lot of the other teams around here, but he was a team player from the moment he showed up at Shenandoah.
Congratulations again, Jacob Kinsey from Shenandoah, our Boys Mental Attitude Award. Now it's time to move on to our Girls Mental Attitude Award, again presented by Representative Terry Austin and Representative Bob Cherry. And again, same as with the boys, very tough to narrow down the field just to our 3 finalists for this award. I mean, again, student athletes around here, fantastic mental attitude all around. Tough to come up with just our 3 finalists.
Yeah, and so many obstacles for people to overcome this year. We'll talk about it throughout the night, but every spring athlete having to deal with not having a season a year ago and trying to get back out there. All of them, for most of the year, dealing with whatever restrictions and things were placed on them, protocols, so they could safely play these sports. Really, we could have given the Mental Attitude Award to every single athlete this year just for getting through the year. So again, these 3 are an elite company and are each deserving of that award. But really, the entire area probably could have gotten that award this year.
And I didn't really hear any kids complaining. I mean, they just dealt with, hey, this is the hand we're dealt with. We're going to do the best we can. And they went out and they sure did do the best they could because we had a fun year. It was a fun year.
So without further ado, here are our nominees for the Girls Mental Attitude Award presented by Representative Terry Austin and Representative Bob Cherry. Our first nominee, Lauren Benson from Frankton. Despite being told she would not graduate high school, she did just that with a 3.75 GPA, I should say. She managed that accomplishment while also playing golf for the Eagles for 4 years and managing for the boys basketball team. She also held down a job for the last 2 years of high school. Lauren Benton of Frankton. Our next nominee for the Girls Mental Attitude Award, Haley Brennemer from Pendleton Heights. Even through the tragedy of losing her father, Elwood girls basketball coach Craig Brennemer, she kept competing with a positive attitude and a smile on her face. She never missed a game for the Pendleton Heights basketball team, averaging 6.8 points, and she also hit .356 with 5 home runs for the softball team this year. Haley Brennemer from Pendleton Heights. And our final nominee for the Girls Mental Attitude Award, Tyra Ford of Anderson. While she is Anderson's all-time leading girls basketball scorer, she also deferred to her teammates in games that were mismatches. Rather than running up her own point total in easy games, she chose to involve the younger players to help make them better, while also averaging 4.3 assists per game. Tyra Ford of Anderson. Again, those are our nominees for the Girls Mental Attitude Award presented by Representatives Terry Austin and Representative Bob Cherry. Thanks to them for helping to present this award and make it possible. And again, 3 very high-class ladies up for this award. Really, you could give it to any of them, and it'd be the right pick.
Yeah,
all deserving. I mean, it just what you read there about those 3 kids and what they either overcame or the way they carried themselves, just the absolute ideal of what this award is about.
100%. But once again, only can be one winner. Reach into the golden envelope here, and the 2021 Girls Mental Attitude Award, sponsored by Representatives Terry Austin and Bob Cherry, goes to Frankton's Lauren Benton.
So congratulations, Lauren Benton of Frankton, our winner for the Girls Mental Attitude Award. Again, a fantastic field of nominees and a great pick to actually win the award.
it was hard, to choose these awards in some respects, but in other respects, it was easy because, as Dave Cloud pointed out on Twitter, the Pendleton Heights wrestling coach, no matter who we choose, it's a deserving winner. And I think that's something, and we'll mention this throughout the night, that's something that goes to the entire area. The fact that they are able to produce year in and year out such strong candidates for each of these awards makes it easy. We have the easy part.
Yeah, that it does take a little of the pressure off, but it's still, when you narrow it down, we narrowed it down because we had some great nominees as well that weren't even among these three finalists. Once you get it down to these three, you got to pick one, and I was captivated by Lauren's story. Just the way she had to overcome some issues and being told that she couldn't do something, and not only she did it in spades. I mean, that's an unbelievable GPA, and to do what she did over 4 years, just outstanding.
Speaking from experience as somebody that has actually had that said to you that you'll never amount to anything at a young age, and it can be something that you carry with you, and it's something that can be difficult to overcome. So I know what Lauren's been through in that respects, and congratulations to her. A fantastic winner for our Girls Mental Attitude Award. Again, thank you to our representatives, Bob Cherry and Terry Austin, for helping to make that award happen. And now it's time to move on to one of my favorite awards that we do every year, and that is the Heart of Sports Award, presented by Prairie Farms, where we recognize people off the field. We recognize the people that help contribute in ways other than being a coach or being a player, but still play a significant role in area athletics in different ways.
These are people that help, keep this athletic program moving and aren't necessarily getting a paycheck in return. They're doing this because they love the sports, they love the kids, they love their alma mater, whatever the motivation. These are people that selflessly go out and help drive the sports engine in the area.
Yeah, and I think it's always fun to highlight these stories because every year we learn at least one new thing, from the nominees here. And I think that's what it's all about. Like Zach said, it's kind of shining light into some of the corners of the athletic world that don't get that spotlight very often. And again, every year, multiple deserving winners. It's great to hear their stories and to be able to share them on the award show every year.
And one thing about this award is our inaugural winner, Jimmy Pine, who is, once you win this, you are a Heart of Sports champion for life. You don't get nominated again. You can only win this award once, but because you are forever a Heart of Sports. And I think that's another thing that makes this award pretty special.
It is. So without further ado, let's meet our nominees this year for the Heart of Sports Award, presented by Prairie Farms. Our first nominees are Jason and Amber Dietz of Anderson, the parents of all THB athletes Andrew Dietz and Carson Smitherman. Jason and Amber Dietz don't limit their Anderson fandom to just sports in which their children compete. They frequently provide meals and drinks to players and are among the football tailgate leaders. So they're involved in many sports. Jason and Amber Dietz of Anderson. Our next nominee for the Heart of Sports Award, Eddie Hulk from Christian. He announces for the Lions volleyball, soccer, basketball, and baseball games, while also producing webcasts for the Liberty Christian Nation YouTube channel. He spent much of the pandemic shut down renovating and improving the Lions baseball field and frequently volunteers his time and equipment to the school. And our final nominee for the Heart of Sports Award, Shane Leisure from Daleville. Very few serve as more of an advocate for their school's athletes than Shane Leisure does for the Broncos. In addition to running the school's weight room, he's also a bus driver, runs the Daleville Athletics YouTube cameras, is the Daleville Athletic Hall of Fame treasurer, and is also a social media advocate for the Broncos. Again, those are our nominees for the Heart of Sports Award, presented by Prairie Farms. And again, like I said before, guys, I love this award because of the way that we shine a light on the incredible people that work behind the scenes to help support these athletes, help keep things going. And three people right there, they're nominated for this award that do exactly that.
These are not the people we write the stories about. Typically on game day, they're behind the scenes. They make life easier for the athletes and the fans. They do all that extra stuff. But as we've said a few times before, there's only one golden envelope.
Yes,
Mhm.
even if you're holding it upside down, there's one golden envelope.
That's okay though.
It is. It's time to present our Heart of Sports Award presented by Prairie Farms. Rob, the envelope, if you blew, please.
I've turned it right side up so that I will be able to read it correctly.
Thank you, sir.
The winner of this year's our Heart of Sports Award, sponsored by Prairie Farms, is Jason and Amber Dietz of Anderson High School.
Congratulations, Jason and Amber. And again, these are two that they're involved beyond just their, own student athletes. Because when we're talking about parents, a lot of times it's parents that are very involved with their own, child's individual sports. And there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. I mean, that's what's expected, but going above and beyond and supporting all sports, not just the ones that your kids are involved in, that is the type of stuff that makes you the heart of sports, because you're supporting the entire school athletic department, not just your own.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is just how selfless a lot of these people are. And like Rob talked about, we don't write about these people necessarily on game day. They're not seen, they're not out front. They're like Heather Bremer, our own producer here. They're not, out there shining every day, but without them, many of these events don't happen, or they don't happen in the same way as they're happening now. I think that, these are the people. It's called Heart of Sports for a reason. You can't survive without a heart, and these athletes in this area can't survive without the people who win these awards.
Yeah, it's almost a double meaning because these people love their schools and their sports. I mean, there's no two ways about it. And like I said, this is another one where we could have thrown these three in a hat and drawn one, and they would have been. But what Jason and Amber do for Anderson High School sports across the board, and not just sports. I mean, they've supported the band program over there too in years past. So
state championship band program.
Two-time state. Well, more than that, but two-time. Well, I've been around state champion, but yeah, that's just like you said, this is a fun award to give out.
It is our Heart of Sports Award presented by Prairie Farms. Again, congratulations to our winners, Jason and Amber Dietz from Anderson. Now it's time to move on to another award that we like to hand out for us as people that cover athletics, cover high school athletics. Some of our favorite stories are the breakout stories, the kids that come from out of nowhere and surprise everybody. The kid that you weren't expecting much from, but has a fantastic year, or just that breakout story. I mean, it is the Breakout Athlete Award, but that's what it is. It's somebody that broke out from the pack, that stood out, that maybe we weren't exactly expecting, because going in, you have on paper like, okay, maybe this kid is going to have a good year, but then here comes the dark horse from out of nowhere having a fantastic year, and those are sometimes some of the most fun stories to cover.
Yeah, a lot of times when we're looking at a team season they're getting ready to have, we look at the seniors they have coming back, or the juniors or whatever. And sometimes it's a freshman that shows up and changes things, or a kid who played on the JV last year that shows up this year for varsity. And what makes this, and then the boys coming up, these two awards really hard, is we had a huge field to choose from because no spring last year. So not only was it freshmen, all the spring sophomores were first-time players, and a lot of the juniors too. So we had a lot to choose from, and there were a lot of candidates. We had a lot of kids show up this year, play well.
This was another really long conversation. This was one that took a long time to separate. And I think as Zach introduces these three finalists on the girls' side, you're going to understand why immediately.
So without further ado, let's meet our nominees for the Girls Breakout Player of the Year. Our first finalist is Makina Alexander from Frankton Softball. She delivered on very high expectations in her first year. She hit .532 for the regional champion Eagles with 12 home runs, 45 RBI, and a 1.114 slugging percentage. And she also had a grand slam at regional that helped to keep Frankton's season alive. Makina Alexander from Frankton Softball. Our next nominee, Jamison Jeffries from Anderson Girls Tennis. She made her high school debut as a junior this season for the Indians and posted a 21-1 record, which included an individual sectional title. She was 16-0 during the regular season and won her first 5 postseason matches before bowing out in the regional finals. Jamison Jeffries of Anderson Girls Tennis. And our final nominee for Girls Breakout Athlete, Holly Kletheimer from Frankton Volleyball. She made quite a splash as one of the more feared hitters in the county during her freshman campaign for Frankton, where she had 254 kills on the season with 68 aces and 44 blocks for the 21-11 Eagles. Holly Kletheimer from Frankton Volleyball. Those are our nominees for the Girls Breakout Player of the Year. And again, guys, holy cow, 3 fantastic young athletes that had great seasons this year that people maybe weren't expecting from them.
Another hard decision, but yet easy because, again, whoever wins, absolutely deserving.
Right.
So let's go ahead and find out who that is here. The 2021 THB Sports Girls Breakout Athlete of the Year is Frankton's McKenna Alexander.
Congratulations, McKenna Alexander, our Girls Breakout Player of the Year. And again, really could have gone wrong with any of them, no matter who the finalist was. But fantastic year for her. And like we said, in the little bio that I read, there were some expectations on her, but she managed to blow past them in a big way.
I first started hearing about her. It would have been the fall of 2019 when I went out and spoke with Frankton volleyball coach Beth Sperry. We were talking about the volleyball team, but she pointed at her because McKenna also plays volleyball and said, watch out for her in softball season. She's going to be amazing. Of course, we didn't get a softball season, but we had, she was something of a travel ball legend, what she was able to do. And so we knew that she was coming, but what she did this year was just the way the numbers she put up and the way she came up big at the big moments, especially in the postseason, was just incredible. And to think that our winner in this category 2 years ago was her travel ball teammate, Kylie Ryan of Pendleton Heights. How would you like to pitch that lineup, George?
No, thanks. No, thanks. Not at all. But it's funny because she's one of the kids that you mentioned earlier that is a sophomore and wouldn't have been eligible had there been a normal 2020 year. So great to see her come through and a lot of pressure on her shoulders. As we've mentioned earlier, reputation preceded her. This was not your normal varsity debut. People expected her to immediately be a big part of that lineup and help carry those Eagles, and she did it. She had a slow start by her standards. I don't know, a lot of other people probably would have still taken that, but she finished on a high note. And Frankton getting back to the semi-state, I think the Eagles have a lot of things to look forward to here in the near future.
And just as difficult as it was to pick our breakout athlete for the girls, it's just as difficult to pick it out for the guys. So without further ado, let's move on to our finalists for the boys breakout athlete of the year. Our nominees for the boys breakout athlete, Crew Farrell from Frankton Wrestling. He rebounded from a third-place sectional finish to capture the regional wrestling title at Pendleton Heights and advance to the semi-state. He finished with a 25-6 record at 152 pounds. He came up just short of the ticket and came just short of the ticket round and a trip to the state finals. Crew Farrell from Frankton Wrestling. Our next nominee for Breakout Boys Athlete of the Year, Hunter Smith from Frankton Cross Country. He earned all regional status in October after placing 20th at regional and was one of 3 Eagles runners to advance to semi-state. He also earned all county honors and later advanced to regional during the track season. Hunter Smith of Frankton Cross Country. And our final nominee for the Boys Breakout Athlete of the Year, Tegan Yagi from Madison Grant Baseball. He made his mark in the spring of 2021, helping to lift the Argyles to both the Nick Muller and sectional championships and a 21-8 record. He was 5-3 on the mound with a 2.13 ERA and tossed a 2-hit gem in the sectional semifinal win over Tipton. Tegan Yagi from Madison Grant Baseball. And those are our finalists for the Boys Breakout Athlete of the Year. And again, guys, what a fantastic list of finalists. 3 names that really, it was tough to narrow it down to just those 3.
And slightly different from the girls is that all 3 of these are freshmen. We got these kids for 3 more years, which is going to be exciting. These kids have bright futures, but
unless you happen to be on another CIC wrestling, cross country, or baseball team.
Yes, if you're a CIC rival of these 3 kids, you're not happy to see them back for another 3 years.
Yeah, it's we say it's great to cover them, maybe not so much for the other side.
But that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. We don't care about what they think. We think about the fun that we get to have covering them. And without further ado, Mr. Rob, you have the golden envelope. Let's find out who our winner is for the Boys Breakout Athlete of the Year.
The 2021 Boys Breakout Athlete of the Year is, and the color of the envelope was somewhat apropos, as it is Tegan Yagi of Madison Grant Baseball.
Congratulations, Mr. Yagi from Madison Grant Baseball. And again, what a season Madison Grant Baseball had this year. They won the Nick Muller tournament for the first time. They won a sectional championship this year, 21-8 record. I mean, we talk about breakout athlete for the boys. I mean, Madison Grant Baseball this year was a breakout team in a lot of ways, and he helped to lead that charge.
Yeah, I got kind of went early in the year. Brad Douglas, Franklin baseball coach, very good baseball coach, told me, he said, that Yagi kid, fearless, completely fearless. And that showed up. I mean, he stepped on the mound as a freshman, and they had an ace. Nick Evans is an ace, but they needed that second pitch, and he stepped up big. Boy, that game he pitched at sectional was just absolute dynamite. I was fortunate enough to be there that night, and he did it for them all year. Also came up big in the Muller tournament.
Yeah, beat Pendleton Heights in the Mall tournament. That's a short list of pitchers that can make that claim.
Yes.
That beat Pendleton Heights in the Nick Muller Memorial Baseball tournament. He did it as a freshman, which is incredible. And then he also caught the final out of the championship game. And I remember talking to some of the players afterwards, and they said, there's no doubt when the ball went in the air and it went towards him, even though he's a freshman, they knew the game was over. They knew it was going to get put away. So I think that's something that as you look at that Madison Grant team, you talk about, Zach kind of mentioned it, a breakout team. The season that they had, winning championships that hadn't been won around there ever or in a long time, and they're going to lose some pieces that they're really going to miss. But knowing that they've got Tegan Yagi for the next 3 years to send out there on the mound, I'm sure that makes the Argyles feel pretty comfortable.
Indeed, that's our pick for the boys breakout of the year game. Congratulations, Tegan Yagi of Madison Grant. As we now get ready to move on to our next award, the Comeback Award, where we recognize an athlete or a team that overcame unique circumstances in order to exceed expectations. And this every year is the type of award that can give you all the feels, all the emotions, because everybody loves a good comeback story. And we've had some really good ones this year.
Yeah, this is, for me, this is one of my favorite awards. These are usually kids that have had to come back from an injury, or I think it can be for if you had a down year and you came back the next year with a big year, but this is almost always somebody who's had to overcome something. And and that's a lot of times that's what sports is all about. Those are our favorite stories, whether, we're watching the pros or college or, here at the local level, those kids who've had to overcome something and succeed.
Yeah, great stories all the way around. I'm always going to remember Ryan Detling when this award comes around, just because, having his appendix removed and then showing up and playing in that sectional championship the same week, it just, that's what this award's about. And we somehow found 3 people again this year who live up to that standard.
I remember I covered that game a few years ago when he came back from the appendix surgery. And I remember I looked at Coach Brobston and I'm like, what is he doing? He's like, he's going to play. I'm like, what?
Yeah. So the thought was he's going to play limited minutes, or maybe they're decoying the other team.
Right.
No, he played a lot, and he played well.
But those are the types of stories that we love, and those are great comeback stories, and that's what we have this year. So it's time to meet our nominees for the 2021 Comeback Award. Our first finalist for Comeback Player of the Year, Andrew Bennett from Shenandoah. The day after a football season-ending injury, he underwent surgery to repair a dislocated SC joint that was putting pressure on his throat and his carotid artery. There was no guarantee that the 2020 Boys Basketball Athlete of the Year would be able to return to the court. He not only did that, he averaged 11.7 points and helped the Raiders to a sectional title. Andrew Bennett from Shenandoah. Our next finalist for the Comeback of the Year award, Emma Uwer from Madison Grant. She suffered fractures in 2018 and 2019 and had to give up gymnastics, her running career, and that was also put in serious doubt. But she rebounded in 2021 to capture the McCord Award at the Madison County meet with wins in the 100, 200, and 300 hurdles, and advanced to the state championships with a regional win in the 200 meters. Emma Uwer from Madison Grant. Our final nominee, Heather Potler from Daleville. The Daleville Broncos all-time leading girls soccer and 2019 sectional championship, leading girls scorer and 2019 sectional champion, had her senior season put in serious jeopardy after an off-season automobile accident. She was still able to play in 17 games and averaged 6.1 points and a team high of 5.8 rebounds. After having to rehab from a broken neck, back, and arm, she reached the 1,000-point milestone. Heather Potler from Daleville. And again, 3 fantastic finalists for our for our Comeback Player of the Year award. 3 very difficult stories. They all had, we talked about things to overcome to be able to come back, and for them to do it and have the seasons that they did, that alone makes them winners in our books.
Yeah, these 3 were not slowed down by an injury. These 2, at least 2 of them, their lives were in danger at one point, and the third one, and all 3, their athletic careers were in jeopardy. It wasn't just they're not going to be as good; they may not have played again if things had gone differently. So that's what makes all 3 of these just absolutely fantastic candidates for this award.
In all high pressure situations too. Like it'd be one thing to come back at all, but all 3 of them came back to teams that were contending or had recent success. And in Emma Uhr's case, she went to the state finals this season afterwards. To me, it's amazing. Anyway, it's even more amazing the situations they came back into, the pressure that was on their shoulders. But once again, we can only name one winner. So without further ado, the 2021 THB Sports Comeback Award goes to, I sense a little bit of a pattern here.
Uh-oh.
Shenandoah's Andrew Bennett.
Congratulations, Mr. Bennett. And again, we mentioned it. It wasn't just a season-threatening injury or a career-threatening injury. I mean, we are talking very, very serious injury that this young man was dealt and had to overcome. And he not only did it, but managed to come back during the basketball season and light it up for the Shenandoah Raiders.
Yeah, I heard about the injury at the football game. Did not know how severe it was. Had some communications with his dad the next day, and I was just terrified because, let's face it, we try to be as impartial as we can. We want to go write the stories, but some kids you just like. Andrew Bennett's one of those kids. You just like him. And to hear that, what he was about to go through, I mean, this was a surgery that was maybe not an emergency, but certainly was urgent. And at that point, I wasn't even thinking about, is he going to play basketball this fall? It was, let's get him healed up. This kid's one of the better kids in the area. Make sure he gets through this okay. And he did. And like I said, I mean, 12 points per game. He's all area again. He helps this Shenandoah juggernaut continue on to the regional finals once again.
We talked about it with Jacob Kinsey about how unselfish he was and how unselfish that team was. Andrew Bennett was an assist machine. I mean, and I think a lot of times he was happier to get an assist or a steal than he was to score a basket. And just, to overcome what he overcame. And again, Heather Potler and Emma Uhr, every bit is deserving of this award. But for Andrew Bennett to literally get up out of his hospital bed and go back out there and keep that Shenandoah team rolling to another sectional title, an amazing performance, a very deserving comeback player of the year, but also another one of these kids, always positive, always believing that there's a higher power at work out there and trusting that design. You can't say enough about, honestly, Andrew Bennett, not just a player, but as the man he's become.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said any better than that.
And speaking of comeback stories, it seems like a good time to again mention you're wearing, Rob, because maybe someday we'll be talking about
previewing the 2022 awards.
Story, perhaps.
Yes, Olivia Shannon of Elwood. If you missed it earlier, I'm wearing it's Team Live. Olivia Shannon, the softball pitcher for Elwood, star softball pitcher. I don't want to just say she's a pitcher. She is a star. Was in an ATV accident over the 4th of July weekend while visiting Colorado with her family. She suffered severe injuries to her right hand. I've almost lost count now. I think about 11 days in the hospital. Checked out this morning. She's headed home. I don't know if she's got us on the phone there in her car on the way home, but I'm guessing she's maybe in Nebraska somewhere, just trying to get my geography right. But these shirts can be $10. I got it from Julie Reese, wife of J.R. Reese, the coach of the Elwood softball team. The bottom it says the comeback is always stronger than the setback. So I'm hoping that she heals up well, and maybe we're talking about her when we get to this category a year from now.
Mm-hmm. Zach, I love it. You always get those plugs. You're always ready. You're plugging next year's awards already. Outstanding.
Well, it just seemed like a natural fit to talk about it because we talk about comeback stories, and we're hoping that maybe next year we'll be talking about her as a comeback story.
Olivia, I've already got you penciled in as a comeback finalist for next year.
In all seriousness, though, we do wish you the best of luck in your recovery, and we hope to see you back on your feet and back on the field soon.
Absolutely.
And with that, it's time to move on to a brand new award that we're doing this year. And I love the fact we're doing this award, a brand new award. It's the Moment of the Year, sponsored by the Madison County Community Foundation. And when we look back over the course of over the seasons, over the year, and there really are a lot of standout moments in terms of high school athletics, teams that achieve things that we didn't think were possible, or that they've never done before, or student athletes that break out and have like that amazing game or that incredible moment. There really are a lot of them through the season, and it's awesome that we're going to have a brand new award, the Moment of the Year this year.
Yeah, this is exciting. I'm glad we're doing this. This is something that could be fun a lot of years. I mean, we had kids hitting buzzer beaters. We had kids scoring 40 points in a basketball game. We had the winner we just talked about, McKenna Alexander, with that grand slam. She had a regional. Sorry, Madison Grant. But that moment was it was one of those, and we had a bunch of those types of moments this year, and so many that they're all jumbled up in my head. I can't get them all out. It was just again, this is another one to get it down to 3 was some kind of fun, wasn't it, George?
Oh my goodness, yes, and then to pick a winner from those 3. But yeah, I mean, this is something that I think the idea here is we know there's a lot of things that happen over the course of the year that don't involve championships, and that's kind of what's the driving force behind this. This isn't necessarily, Macy Beeson or Erica Hill raising that trophy at the end of the year. Obviously, those are moments of the year, but they are awarded in other ways. This is a chance to kind of something that might not have gotten all of that recognition. And there are so many of those moments that I think this is going to be a really fun award year in and year out.
So without further ado, let's meet our nominees for the Moment of the Year, sponsored by the Madison County Community Foundation. Our first Moment of the Year finalist is Maddie Carpenter from Lapel Gymnastics. The senior made school history when she became the first gymnast from Lapel to advance to the state finals after winning the regional all-around championship. And she ended up placing 3rd at the state finals meet in the vault. Maddie Carpenter from Lapel Gymnastics. Our next finalist for Moment of the Year, the Elwood football team. With junior quarterback Will Rutherford accounted for 5 total touchdowns, including the game winner in overtime. The Elwood Panthers snapped a 26-game losing streak with a 51-43 victory over Madison Grant. It was the Panthers' first win since 2017. Elwood football, a finalist for Moment of the Year. And our final finalist for Moment of the Year, Tyra Ford from Anderson Girls Basketball. On Saturday, January the 2nd, she scored 19 points and Anderson lost to Westfield. But there was still a significant moment in that game. During the game, she passed the 33-year mark of Dana Wilkerson and became Anderson's all-time leading scorer for girls basketball. She ended up finishing her career with 1,946 points. Tyra Ford from Anderson Girls Basketball, a finalist for Moment of the Year. Those are our finalists. The award, again, sponsored by the Madison County Community Foundation. And again, 3 absolutely incredible moments to recognize for this season. I mean, you've got a student that made school history by going to the state finals for the first time. You've got a football team that broke a long losing streak. You've got a scoring record being set. Those are the types of things we talk about when we say moments of the year.
Trailblazers in some ways, a lot of times it's the first to do something or the first to do it in a long time. I'll tell you one thing. I didn't know that Anderson girls scoring record was ever going to fall. Let's put that out there. To put your name above Dana Wilkerson's is quite an accomplishment.
Right. And, get a gymnastics team to the state finals, which has never happened.
Nope.
Certainly in Lapel's school history. And then, I was there the night Elwood beat Madison Grant. Again, sorry, Argyles. You guys are having a good night. It's okay. To not just snap that losing streak, but to do it in such dramatic fashion. A town that really loves its football. And, to go through a losing streak like that, for them to pull it out in overtime, and just an incredible night. I was really thrilled to be there for that game.
But all of those incredible moments, there can only be one moment of the year.
There was only room in this envelope for one sheet of paper.
Yes.
So apparently we only have one winner.
Yes, we only have one winner, and that is?
Again, the color of the envelope is apropos as we are giving this award to Maddie Carpenter from Lapel Gymnastics for Moment of the Year.
congratulations, Maddie Carpenter. Again, a very fitting and very deserving moment of the year. I mean, when you can make school history like that, I mean, that's the type of thing that whether you end up winning the whole thing or not, that's the type of thing that you will always be in the record books. Like you will always be known as the first one to take your school to a state final in that sport. And so for Maddie Carpenter to do that and to finish as strong as she did, I mean, third place at the state is nothing to sneeze at. Like that's a fantastic finish overall for the year. So Maddie Carpenter can be proud of the season she had and her making the state finals our moment of the year.
And you know what? A lot of times it's hyperbole. We'll say this athlete put the program on the map. Maddie Carpenter literally put the lapel gymnastics program on the map. She's the reason it was created. There is no lapel gymnastics program without Maddie Carpenter.
Yeah, and she'd done it solo for a couple of years, but this year she had a couple teammates. So they not only they made it to regional as a team, they got out of sectional, which they had never done. And then she went on and performed so well at the state finals. Kind of struggled with a couple of her specialty events, which I know upset her, but she came back and she went after the vault and nailed it and nailed down that third place finish.
That is our moment of the year presented by the Madison County Community Foundation.
Can I interject for just a second?
Please do.
I think we're having a little bit of a problem with the original link I've sent out to some winners to join our chat. So I apologize if I'm looking down at my phone, but I am sending out a new link. So hopefully we can get some of these winners on. We could talk to them because they've got to be tired of just hearing us.
I believe we have one right now.
Okay.
We do have one of our winners standing by to join us on the chat.
Welcome in at this time, our comeback award winner, Shenandoah's own Andrew Bennett.
Hi guys.
Hey Andrew, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Man, we're having a blast. We're having a good old time up here.
We absolutely are. So, how does it feel for you, Mr. Bennett, to be named the winner for this award?
It's very honoring. It was really hard to go through that, but I was just thankful enough and blessed to have a family and friends and people around me to keep my spirits up and just to get through the tough battle of trying to get back onto the court. But as you guys saw, I mean, I got back out there and I enjoyed myself, and I'm just very honored to win that award.
Andrew, throughout your time at Shenandoah, you've talked about how tight-knit that athletic program is, the boys basketball team in particular. How much did your football teammates, your basketball teammates, all the athletes at the school help you in this process?
Yeah, I remember getting that night. I got so many texts and calls from everyone making sure I was okay. Really throughout that whole week. The day I got home, I remember I had a lot of people come to my house, a lot of fellow athletes, just to make sure I was okay, check up on me. They all really said, hey, we'll do anything for you. Just let me know what you need and we'll be there. And so it's really nice to have that. And I think they know that I would do the same for them. And that's why they did it. So I'm very thankful for that.
Andrew, I'm just going to jump in real quick. Sorry, I wasn't ignoring you. I was sending out the correct link to everybody else. What you were talking about. At any point when you were going through that rehab or right after the injury and the surgery, at any point in that time, did you doubt, and maybe I'm not going to be able to not just play, but go back to the form that we're used to seeing you at?
More so probably before I started rehab. I remember sitting in the hospital and I remember my surgeon telling me, look, like, you may never play sports again. And I remember sitting there with my dad. It was just me and my dad and my mom. And I remember that was the first time that I was kind of like, oh my goodness, like this could be it. Like I might never get another chance. And I started doubting it a little bit then. I remember sitting there and just having doubts and just thinking, like, what if I'll never be able to play again? And luckily I got back into it, and I had a really good physical trainer to help me get back to where I needed to be. And she was really good at keeping my spirits up and just being honest with me. And I feel like that's a big part of coming back from injuries like that, is just as long as they're honest with you and tell you it straight. Like they told me a couple times look, you're not ready, because I wanted to be back. And they said, you're not ready to be back. And that was hard, but luckily I got back in there decently early in the season.
One of the things, because we were just talking about Olivia Shannon, the softball player.
Mhm.
Just one last thought: how hard is it to be patient and take it step by step and not rush the comeback?
It is extremely hard. I remember sitting there watching all of my friends practice and watching all of my friends play, and I was already out of a cast, and I could shoot a basketball, I could practice, and so I was practicing with all of them, but I couldn't play. And it was very, very hard. I remember talking to my parents about it, talking to my trainer about it, and it's just patience. And they said, if you go now, it might make it worse. So just be patient and sit back, and when you're ready, you'll be ready. So
how fulfilling was it for you when you had that moment where you finally got to step on the court for the first time back in a game? What was it like for you?
I remember before the game, during the national anthem, honestly remember praying to God, just saying thank you. It was like I was having flashbacks to when I was told I might not play sports again. I remember just thanking God that he got me through that and that he was there with me throughout that whole process. And when we finally started, before the game started, I went around and high-fived all my teammates, just saying thank you. Like, they were there. They were there for me through it all. But it was a very, very good feeling, and it felt accomplished.
Well, we've been talking again with our Comeback Player of the Year award winner, Andrew Bennett. Andrew, thanks for checking with us. Congratulations again, and enjoy the rest of your summer.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Congratulations, Andrew.
Thank you.
And we actually have other guests standing by. Up next, we've got Tegan Yagi from Madison Grant, one of our other award winners from earlier, joining us. Good evening, Miss Yagi.
Hey, good evening.
Our breakout player of the year, Tegan, can you talk a little bit about stepping in as a freshman and then coming into a season that was so special at Madison Grant? What were your emotions like as you're winning championships and advancing in the postseason?
Just knowing that I had my teammates on my back and I was following a great pitcher that was in front of me, senior Nick Evans, how you guys talked about earlier, and just following his footsteps and knowing that if I had his back and he had my back, and just trusting teammates, trusting coaches, and just relying on each other to get through the season, winning championships, and just keep that mentality going.
Tegan, Rob Hunt over here. Congratulations on this award. One of the things I was struck by, we talked earlier about your pitching performance in the sectional win over Tipton. One thing we didn't mention is that was your first game back on the mound after getting hit by a thrown ball. How much was that in your mind when you went out there and took the mound that night?
That wasn't really focused like on my mind, because that's pressure and all that for that sectional, and so like I really wasn't running through my mind, but on the back of my head, I'm still noticing like, get down, don't get hit by a ball.
Tegan, how hard is it now not to look forward to next year? I know you want to still kind of savor this run, making a lot of school history, but you guys are losing some important people. Nick Evans, as you mentioned, probably near the top of that list, but you got to feel pretty optimistic about the future. Is it tough not to be anxious for next spring already?
Yeah, it's real tough, because just coming off that hot season that we had and just wanting to get back on the mound and play.
He's going to play some basketball later this year. He's pretty good at that too. So got that to look forward to as well.
Again, we thank you for joining us. Tegan, thanks for checking in, and best of luck in the upcoming year.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tegan Yagi joining us, and we have one more standing by, and that is our Boys Johnny Wilson Award winner, Jack Scott from Anderson Prep, getting ready to join us here on the broadcast for the THB Sports Awards. Hello, Jack.
Is Jack still with us?
We may have lost Mr. Scott. We had him standing by, so
Jack, try again. If we may have lost you, you might have to close it out and try again. We'll get back to you.
Yeah,
definitely
try
back
to Mr. Scott. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and we'll move on to our next award, which is the
Oh, hang on a second. We got
Oh,
breaking news here.
We're live here. Oh, we probably ought to hold on.
Yeah, all right.
Hold
We'll
the
move on
phone.
to the
We
next
may
one.
not hold. for
This is
one.
a stop the presses guest. There's no
Stop the
question
awards
about
show
that.
moment.
We have one more thing by ready to go, and that is Miss Erica Hill joining us. Hello, Erica.
Erica doesn't sound like she's alone. Erica, are you with us?
Erica Hill joining us. Hello, Erica.
There she
Hi.
is.
She
I
is.
think she might be on a little bit of a delay.
Erica doesn't sound like she's alone. Erica, are you with us?
I am. Wait.
I think there was a delay there, and we may have just lost Erica. We had her, and then we may have lost her. There was a little bit of a delay, I think.
It's you can't corral a hurricane. You know what I'm saying?
No,
This is
absolutely
literally.
not. And this is live, folks. We are 100% live. Things are going to happen. I do want to apologize. I introduced Tegan Yagi by saying Miss Yagi. I apologize. It's live. I have the sun in my eyes. You may be able to see it reflecting off of my face. So my apologize to Mr. Yagi for my mess up there. So
So Jack and Erica, if you want to try again, give it another click. We'll come back to you.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, we'll get to our next award, which I believe is the Scholar Athlete of the Year. As I'm being waved, Scholar Athlete of the Year, presented by the City of Anderson and our mayor, Thomas J. Broderick Jr., where we recognize athletes who excel in the classroom in both boys and girls sports. So this is the award that's not necessarily about what you do on the field. This award is more about what you do off the field and what you do in the classroom. The Scholar Athlete Award, recognizing those that work hard in the classroom just as hard as they do on the field.
And this is, again, one of those that's always tough to figure out because most of these kids come in with GPAs that are higher than my IQ. So yeah, these are, they're again, no losers in this group either.
I can confidently say that I would not have been a finalist for Scholar Athlete during my high school career. But these young women are, as we're going to lead off with our girls finalists for Scholar Athlete. Again, this award presented by the City of Anderson and Mayor Thomas J. Broderick Jr., our girls Scholar Athletes of the Year. Our first finalist, Macy Browning from Pendleton Heights, who, in addition to being the Arabian girls soccer's all-time single-season scoring leader, she graduated with a 4.54 GPA and was ranked 10th in her class of 372. She will take an academic honors diploma with her to Indiana Wesleyan, where she is going to be playing soccer. Macy Browning of Pendleton Heights. Next finalist for the girls scholar athlete, Abby Hartley of Frankton, who was an all-CIC performer in both tennis and cross country and graduated with a 4.179 GPA. She was also the vice president of the senior class and a member of the Honor Society, and she was inducted into the Academic Hall of Fame and is a member of the History and Spanish National Honor Society. Again, that is Abby Hartley of Frankton. And our final girls scholar athlete finalist, Rachel Pendergraft from Anderson, with a GPA of 4.684. She ranked second in her 411 member class for 2021. The tennis team's number 3 singles player as well this season. She's been involved in multiple activities throughout her career and was a Madison County Athlete of Character. Rachel Pendergraft of Anderson, our third finalist for the Scholar Athlete of the Year for girls. Again, that award sponsored by the City of Anderson and our mayor, Thomas J. Broderick Jr. Again, guys, 3 very strong candidates, 3 great student athletes on the field, but obviously 3 great students in the classroom as well.
Before we get to this one, before I let George read it, I want to point out I just received a response from Jacob Kinsey, who apparently he's on a beach somewhere and doesn't have a connection. So that just telling me that he's at a beach somewhere, I almost want to take back his mental attitude.
I'm jealous. That sounds like bragging to me.
Yeah.
It does.
Hey,
You're on a
we know from last year these winners can come from anywhere. These interviews can come from anywhere. It's been outstanding. So let's, before we get to some more guests, let's award another winner here with our 2021 Girls Scholar Athlete of the Year sponsored by the City of Anderson and Mayor Thomas J. Broderick Jr. The award goes to Anderson's own Rachel Pendergraft.
Congratulations to Rachel Pendergraft. She is our winner. And again, this is an award that puts an emphasis on the student part and student athlete. Our Scholar Award winner. Again, congratulations to Rachel Pendergraft, a very deserving winner for this award.
An outstanding student, part of a bit of a rejuvenated Anderson girls tennis team this year. A lot of that was Jamison Jeffries. Obviously, we've spoken about her a great deal, but up and down that roster, there was some talent on that tennis team. Rachel was part of that this year, and was a leader that Coach Ellis talked about quite frequently, and obviously, 4.684 GPA. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, definitely had a lot of court sense. Hey, Zach, how about we welcome in another guest?
We have a guest.
We do have a guest standing by, Mr. Hunt. You can see better than I can over there. Who's our next guest that's standing by?
I believe we just spoke with the boys' breakout award. Now we're going to talk to the girls' breakout winner, and that would be Miss McKenna Alexander from Frankton. McKenna, I believe you're out of town. How are you?
Yes, I am. I'm great. How are you?
We're good up here. You are in Alabama, is that correct?
I'm in Kansas City.
Kansas City. Well, I was close. Geography was never my thing. Congratulations on being our girls' breakout winner. Following the footsteps of one of your travel ball teammates, how does that feel to be that award winner this year?
It's pretty awesome. It's such a blessing to even be considered for this award. So, thank you.
McKenna, you entered the year with almost unprecedented expectations for someone making their varsity debut after you have to wait an entire year. Your entire freshman season's wiped out. What was it like going out there for the first game and being a part of Frankton softball?
Well, honestly, I was kind of stressed. I was like, oh, I have all this stuff to live up to, It's just, but in reality, you just kind of go play the game, play how you play. It doesn't really matter as long as you're happy with yourself in the end of it.
Take me back to a couple of those big moments for you, and there were a lot during the year, but certainly in the postseason, the big home run in the sectional championship, and then that grand slam. I think that saved your season. I mean, if you don't get that hit in that ball, you may not get another chance to bat. Just take back through those moments and what's going on through your mind in those plate appearances.
Well, honestly, without the support of my community, my teammates, my coaches, my family, it definitely would not have been possible. If my teammates wouldn't have done their job, then I definitely wouldn't have had the chance to produce anything.
Fair enough.
Well, taking the time to check in with us. Congratulations again on being an award winner, and enjoy your much deserved vacation.
Good luck out in Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City, Alabama, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, McKenna.
Bye.
We have another award winner.
We do, and I think
this one may be closer to home.
I think we may have Jack Scott this time. We had him earlier, but we lost the connection. I think though that we do finally have
there he is,
Mr. Scott standing by. Hello, Jack. Can you hear us?
Yes, sir. How are you guys?
We are doing well. Congratulations on being the this year's Johnny Wilson Award winner.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
First of all, just how does it feel to know that you the first in school history to win this award?
It's crazy thinking back at the past. I know some other, well, I think all the other award winners, not award winners, but nominees from APA. I played with a couple of them. Bradford's got them up on a plaque in the hallway, and I look at them. So I've seen them, and it's pretty cool to be the first one out of them with pretty good company. So.
It's kind of leaning into that. How does it feel when you look around at the other nominees this year to hear your name called as the winner?
It was crazy. I jumped a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
That's okay. You may get your own plaque in that hallway. Kind of just take me through first of all, your year kind of started on a down note in the sense that you're playing well. The soccer team looks good. You're going into sectional, you're going to have to beat Liberty Christian, but you're hosting it, and then it gets taken away. How are you able to kind of channel that disappointment into having such a big year the rest of the season for you?
It makes you really feel just blessed with the other opportunities you get to even step on a court or a field, because when it gets taken away from you, it makes you respect, and it means a little bit more when you get to finish the season. like with basketball and baseball, I got closure with like a sectional ending. It doesn't really feel like soccer ever ended because I never actually officially ended soccer. So
Yeah, no doubt about that. You know, a lot of guys come through this, win this award, and you can kind of say, well, he's a baseball player who also plays these other sports. It's not that way with you. It's one of the reasons why we chose you. What would you consider your best or your favorite of the three?
My favorite's probably soccer because I don't know enough about it. So I don't know if I'm good or bad because I just went out there.
If nothing else, we like the honesty. We like the fact that you're being honest.
I was probably a better baseball.
Obviously, you're very good at it. You're very good at everything you do. And congratulations again on being the Boys Johnny Wilson Award winner. First one from APA. I know it's a big honor for you. And sincerely, congratulations. A very deserving winner.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
And that's Jack Scott from Anderson Prep Academy. And I do believe that we have one more standing by. We think we got her this time. We had a little bit of a communication issue the last time. There was a little bit of a delay. But I think we finally have got Miss Erica Hill to join us. I think we finally got her on the line. Hello, Erica.
Hi, how are you doing?
We are doing well, and we're glad to be able to hear from you. Congratulations on being our Girls Johnny Wilson Award winner earlier tonight. What does it mean for you to be named as the winner of that award?
Well, it's amazing to be with all those wonderful men and women up there who are considered to be just like him. I'm speechless.
Erica, our first two-time state champion to join us here on the show. Is there any, you can't control it obviously, but there's any part of you that feels like you should be a three-time state champ?
Well, that's just the hand that was dealt to me, as Rob had said earlier. Am I a little bitter about it? Maybe a smidge. But in my heart, I'll take the benefit of the doubt and say I was 3-time.
Of course, this is an award that's directed in terms of, or is awarded in terms of excellence across 3 different sports or multiple sports. It could be more than 3, but you certainly were all area in all 3 multiple times. Do you have a favorite?
Well, I can't really pick a favorite.
Track and field is going to pay some room and board for a while.
It's going to be paying for a lot of donuts.
Yes, I should have let off with that. Introduced her not as Erica Hill Johnny Wilson Award winner, but as Erica Hill, the donut queen. She is a donut connoisseur. Tell people what your favorite donut is.
Maple bacon. It's the
that's
best from Quack Daddy's. Can't beat it.
That's a very solid pick. I gotta be honest.
That is
getting the thumbs up from Heather here too. People can't see it, but she's definitely supporting that choice.
Well, Erica, congratulations again on being the Girls Johnny Wilson Award winner. Thank you for finally joining us and working out the technical kinks. We're glad that we were able to get you on as part of tonight's program.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Erica.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Again, that's Erica Hill, our Girls Johnny Wilson Award winner for 2021. And we got to keep this program moving, guys.
Yes, we do.
Just before we had our guests, we have presented the Girls Scholar Athlete Award, emphasizing the student and student athlete. Now we got to do the same for the boys. So without further ado, here are our nominees for the Boys Scholar Athlete, again presented by the City of Anderson and our Mayor, Thomas J. Broderick Jr. Our nominees for Boys Scholar Athlete include Jason Bale from Anderson. While accumulating 7 varsity letters in swimming and tennis, he also maintained a 4.65 GPA and graduated 3rd in his class of 411. He was a 2021 Red Haven Award finalist and was named All-Conference in both sports and was named to the All-State Academic Team. Jason Bale from Anderson. Our next finalist for Boys Scholar Athlete, JT Nelson of Daleville. He earned Daleville's valedictorian honors in 2021 as he graduated with a 4.38 grade point average and was a member of the National Honor Society and a 203 hitter for the Broncos baseball team. He plans to attend Indiana University and study business. And And our final finalist for the Boys Scholar Athlete Award winner is Derek Steinfeld from Alexandria. He's a 4-year member of Alexandria's tennis team and graduated as the 2021 valedictorian with a GPA of 4.237. He was also named an Athlete of Character and is a member of the National Honor Society and will be studying biochemistry at Wittenberg University. Derek Steinfeld from Alexandria. Those are our finalists for the Boys Scholar Athlete Award, again presented by the City of Anderson and our Mayor, Thomas J. Broderick Jr. And again, guys, these are 3 guys that put the emphasis on student athlete. I did not realize GPAs could go that high.
Yeah, neither did we.
Yeah, I was never a candidate for a GPA to go that high, so it was never even discussed with me.
I can't count that high. I'll just be honest.
I hear you.
So without further ado, like we said, with these awards, it's very tough to declare a winner, but we only can award one. And Mr. Hunt, you have the winner right there in your hands.
I almost jumped the gun.
You almost did.
It's exciting.
You can do it now. You can go.
Okay. The winner of the 2021 Boys Scholar Athlete is, sponsored by the City of Anderson and Mayor Thomas J. Broderick Jr. It's Daleville's J.T. Jacob Nelson.
Congratulations, Mr. Nelson. Again, a very difficult award to narrow down to just one, but congratulations to Mr. Nelson, our winner. Again, valedictorian for Daleville. He's going to IU to study business, National Honor Society. I mean, let's be honest, these are 3 kids that are brainiacs.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other way to put it. They're the brainiacs of the bunch.
And it's hard to choose. Every year it's hard to choose between them. Rob kind of mentioned it earlier. It's tough, too, because one GPA at one school is not equal to a GPA at another school, so you can't just go by that. But, any one of them, again, any one of them would have been deserving. JT, obviously, very deserving, and can't be happier to see Daleville get on the board here tonight as well. We got a lot of schools coming through. Good to see the Broncos score a victory.
And, he's going to college with a not only this award, so he's got a state baseball championship ring. It'd be interesting. Maybe we can hear from him at some point and find out which one is more valuable to him.
Yep.
Is he on the phone now?
I believe.
Okay, well, then we can find out the answer to that right now.
We were just talking about him. We have Mr. JT Nelson joining us here on the broadcast. Hello, Mr. Nelson.
Hello, how are you guys?
We're good, JT. How are you tonight?
I'm just great. I actually just got back from Pine Lake today.
Oh, excellent. That's up in my old stomping grounds, up near where I'm from. So I'm going to lead off with the question I just kind of hypothesized. Which is more valuable to you as you head to college, Scholar Athlete of the Year or that baseball state championship ring?
Oh, man. Well, the state ring, I mean, I was on the team, but I didn't really do a whole lot. I actually was on the team. The first game I played that year was the first game of the sectional. My coach called me up and was like, hey,
oh no!
Oh, I think we may have.
He might be driving somewhere, so he may be in a bad service
So,
area.
We had him there. I did like his honesty.
That answer was going to be huge.
Yeah, when he jumped in late.
Yep.
We will see. I do believe that we have lost the connection to Mr. Nelson, so we will go ahead and we will move on to our next award.
JT tried to get back on because we wanted to hear the answer to that. The world wanted to know.
That answer was shaping up to be epic.
That was shaping up to be a humdinger, but unfortunately, or fortunately, we have to move on to another great award to present, and that's where we recognize the coaches. We've been talking a lot about the student athletes and what they do, but a lot of them wouldn't get to where they are without fantastic coaches, and so that's why we have the Coach of the Year.
Well, hang on a second. It looks like we've got JT back, I think.
Do we have him? Do we have him back?
We do.
Can you hear me now?
JT, you're back.
Yes.
Yeah, if we could try that again, JT, could you finish something? Because that was going to be huge.
Yeah. I really don't know, man. Let's go with this award.
Okay, because I've got it right here. This one actually has your name on it right here.
Oh boy, no way.
Yes,
awesome.
We'll be able to pick that up sometime soon. But
heck yeah.
Honestly, I mean, it's probably got to be difficult to be able to maintain, the high grades, the high GPA, while also being a student athlete. So obviously this is an award that a lot of hard work went into to be able to get.
Yes, sir. A lot of hard work.
TT, a lot of times when we have winners on here, they talk about what they remember most from their high school career. I'm wondering, I'm sure this is going to be the same with you. How much of what you remember won't be awards or championships, but just the little moments that you have with your teammates?
Oh my gosh. My freshman year was definitely like the best year, obviously because of the state championship, but the guys on the team were just so funny, and it sucked because after that year, like they all left, and that was like my best friend. So the things that I remember the most, the smallest things, are just like the little things we did in the dugout that I probably can't say on camera. Not me. I'll say it wasn't me, but the other guys. As a little freshman, just seeing them and the things they did as a little innocent freshman was awesome. I'll never forget it.
I'm told you're going to be studying business at IU. What are you hoping for in terms of career goals to do with that?
Well, as of right now, I want to get my business degree, a master's in that. But I think the long-term goal for me is eventually getting into real estate. So I think just like getting a job and having a good source of income to be able to start into that business, like real estate.
Yeah. Smart guys. Get into real estate. I hear you.
So right now, if you got a house that you're going to sell, or if you going to buy, we know who to hook you up with right here.
Awesome. Yeah.
Congratulations, JT.
I appreciate it, guys.
Again, JT Nelson, our winner for the Boys Scholar Athlete, joining us.
Thanks for coming on
the 2021
no
THB
problem.
Sports Awards. Thanks for jumping in. And so, as we were getting to before we were joined
Congrats.
by JT, it's time to recognize our Coach of the Year, and it's time to present our 3 finalists for the Coach of the Year Award for 2021. Our finalists for the Coach of the Year, recognizing the best coach in boys and girls sports. Our first finalist is Scott Haley from Madison Grant Baseball. In his 5th season as a head coach, he led the Argyle's baseball team to a stunning Nick Muller Memorial Baseball Tournament championship and also the school's first sectional title since 2012. After posting a 25-93 record over the previous 5 seasons, this year they won 21 games in 2021. Scott Haley from Madison Grant Baseball, our first finalist for Coach of the Year. Our next finalist, Kayla Jump from Madison Grant Volleyball. In just her 2nd season at the helm, the Madison Grant Volleyball team won the Grant. Did I lose my? Oh, there we go. I lost my lost my spot there. They won sectional championships and Grant County championships, and were Madison County runners-up. The Argyles advanced to the regional final and finished with a 24-12 mark. Again, that's Kayla Jump from Madison Grant Volleyball. And our final finalist for Coach of the Year, Jeremy Parker from Frankton Softball. With a team that had just 1 senior and 8 freshmen and sophomores playing their first year of high school softball, he led the Eagles to the CIC sectional and regional championships. They closed out the year at 19-8, only after falling to eventual Class 2A state champion winner, Pioneer. Again, Jeremy Parker from Frankton Softball, our 3rd finalist for Coach of the Year.
I think for me, it's always fun and interesting that this award follows the scholar athletes, because we all know the scholar athletes are smarter than all of us. But the Coach of the Year, they always get the fun of everybody thinks they're smarter than them.
Right.
So it's kind of an interesting thing to follow. But I know, again, 3 very, very deserving candidates. This one was another one that went long discussion, Rob.
And I think part of that was because we didn't necessarily see these 3 teams having the types of year that they had, whether it was youth or tradition or what, or maybe the start to the season. That was certainly the case with Madison Grant Volleyball. Their season didn't start great, but boy, did they get a run at the end of the year and nearly pulled off the big upset over, top ranked Wapahani. And I think that's part of the reason these 3 are such great candidates.
And unfortunately, there can be one Coach of the Year. And no, it's not the person that sat 3 rows behind us in the stands at the game.
Nope.
It's the name in this envelope that you're about to reveal, George.
That person will never win Coach of the Year.
The 2021 Coach of the Year for THB Sports Awards is Jeremy Parker of Frankton Softball.
Congratulations to Coach Parker from Frankton, our winner for Coach of the Year. Again, 3 very fine finalists. and a very deserving winner in Coach Parker from Frankton Softball.
Yeah, and this was, not that Frankton softball being successful is a surprise ever. They're always very good. The surprise this year a little bit was that last year was supposed to be their year. Last year's Johnny Wilson Award winner was Aaliyah Rastetter, and that team was loaded. This year, very young team. I know they had 8 freshmen and sophomores on the roster. 4 freshmen started. I mean, and just 1 senior. And for them to go out and not only win the CIC, but then to beat a really good Elwood team in sectional, and then to win that just doozy of a game at regional up at Madison Grant the way they did. Took some guidance, took some patience on the part of the coach, and Jeremy certainly showed that this year with this team. And congratulations to Coach Parker.
Again, that is our Coach of the Year award, and it's time to move on to our next award for the evening, and that is where we recognize the top performing team across all sports. It is our Team of the Year award, and this one, again, guys, it's a very difficult field to narrow down because we've had some very strong performances from many teams this year.
A ton. I mean, just getting this down to 3 was something else. I mean, we had a lot of sectional championships, some teams that had great county tournaments, teams that went deep into the postseason. We didn't necessarily get to the state championship game this year, but boy, we had some really good postseason runs and some teams that kind of captured the imagination.
Absolutely. Without further ado, Zach, you want to introduce these very deserving nominees?
Yes, indeed. It's time to introduce our nominees for Team of the Year. Our first team nominated, Frankton Softball, powered by THB Sports 2021 Softball Pitcher of the Year, Addison Compass, and breakout sophomore slugger, McKean Alexander. The Young Eagles won 19 games and captured sectional and regional championships with just 1 senior in the lineup. Their surprising run was ended by eventual Class 2A state champion Pioneer at the semi-state round. Frankton Softball, our first finalist for Team of the Year. Our next finalist for Team of the Year, Madison Grant Baseball, a team we've talked about a lot tonight with no superstars but plenty of talent spread throughout the lineup. The Madison Grant Baseball team won its first Nick Muller Memorial Baseball Tournament championship and its first sectional title since 2012. The Argyles won 21 games in 2021 behind the 1-2 punch pitching of senior Nick Evans and freshman Tegan Yagi after winning just 7 times in 2019. Madison Grant Baseball, our next finalist for Team of the Year. And our final finalist for Team of the Year, Shenandoah Boys Basketball, where the Raiders this year won their 5th straight sectional championship and advanced to the regional finals, losing to state runner-up Park Heritage. They were ranked near the top of the Class 2A polls all season before finishing with a 25-4 record with 3 players, Andrew Bennett, Jacob Kinsey, and Caden McCullough, wrapping up their careers with more than 1,000 points scored. Shenandoah Basketball, our 3rd finalist for Team of the Year. So those are our finalists for Team of the Year. And again, guys, what a stacked lineup of teams. 3 teams that had just absolutely fantastic seasons this year.
And storybook seasons. I mean, all of them overcame something, all the pressure on that Shenandoah boys basketball team for them to go back and reach the regional final again. Madison Grant baseball team was a Cinderella story. Obviously, the Frankton softball team, we just covered them with Jeremy Parker winning Coach of the Year. And so once again, all 3 of them extremely deserving of this award.
Absolutely. And I am very happy to reveal the winner.
Please do.
Because we can only do one.
Yes, we can only pick one Team of the Year, and I think it's time for us to do that.
And the Team of the Year for 2021 is the surprising Madison Grant baseball team.
Madison Grant Baseball, our Team of the Year. I mean, we've talked about them a lot tonight, throughout the night. First Nick Muller tournament win, first sectional title since 2012, a complete turnaround from previous seasons. I think you said it best, George. They were a team that had a Cinderella story and a fantastic year and a very deserving Team of the Year winner.
Yeah, I think one of the things about this group in particular, a lot of times early in the year, you'll see a team get hot, they'll win something like a county championship, and everybody's like, wow, maybe this is up and coming. And then things get rough and the year doesn't turn out the way they want, and then the postseason success doesn't come. This team just got better and better as the year went on. And I think it felt like, I was up there in Lafayette when they lost in the regional, it didn't feel like the end. It felt like the beginning. This is a young group, and it felt like what they're going to accomplish has only just begun.
Yeah, and this was one of those teams where very early in the season, they beat Pendleton Heights in the county. We're like, wow, what a great win for that program. What a shocker. But that's all they're going to do. Well, then they beat Anderson in the championship game. And then they just kept winning conference games, and they go on to win that conference. Then they beat Anderson again. Every time we thought, well, that's as good as they're going to get, they just kept on winning and went on to the sectional title.
Yep.
Congratulations again, Madison Grant Baseball, our team of the year. And
we have a guest who might disagree with that, but
well, I mean, they were a finalist.
Yes,
they were a finalist, and he is our winner for Coach of the Year, the coach of Frankton softball, Jeremy Parker, now joining us here on the broadcast. Hello, Coach Parker.
Hey guys, thanks for the award. I couldn't do it without my coaches and my players. Can I trade my award in for Team of the Year so the girls can have that?
Unfortunately, I don't think trades like that exist, but still a fantastic season for you and the Frankton softball team. Talk a little bit about what you guys were able to accomplish this season with you at the helm.
Just the chemistry that our girls had, day in and day out. Just fun to be at practice. This group of girls worked their tails off every day, played for each other. That's what it's all about as a coach. Those are easy girls to coach. So,
and I know you and I have talked about this at a couple occasions. Just talk about that point of the season when maybe your mindset changed from, hey, I'm rebuilding with a bunch of freshmen here, to, hey, no, this team can actually do something this year.
We talked before, and I think that was at the county tournament, but I don't really like the term of rebuild at Frankton softball. I always like to just reload. Just think we have a lot of good young players that buy into what we coach, and that's what makes it fun. That's why I've been there for so long.
With so many of these players coming back, does it feel like this was just the start of what this group's going to be able to accomplish?
I hope so. They're already talking about getting back to school and starting to work. We got lots of players that are, playing a lot in the summer to get better. And they got a little taste of, what it's like to be successful. So hopefully they continue being hungry.
You also had the breakout winner earlier, McKenna. She's in Kansas City. Have you got orders for her to bring back some barbecue?
No, but it's funny you say that. We're actually in Tennessee with 5 or 6 of our softball players as well, playing for in the World Series here in Tennessee.
Well, good luck the rest of the way. The season never ends.
That's exactly right.
Congratulations, Coach.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
All right, see you guys.
Again, that was Jeremy Parker from Frankton softball, our coach of the year. And right now, before we move on to our final few awards, this has been a season unlike any other in a lot of ways. And one of the ways that it was a very difficult season is throughout the year, we had some very big losses in our area sports community. And so at this time, we would like to take a moment to have a moment of silence in honor of those people that are very important to the sports community that we've lost over the course of this season. Thank you. We wanted to take a moment to have a moment of silence, a moment of remembrance for some of the losses that we've had over the course of this year. And now it's time to move on to our final 3 awards of the night, including the program of the year. And Mr. George, you will explain a little bit about what program of the year entails.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that Rob and I and Heather don't have to sit down and argue about for hours at a time, because there's a point system, and it is chosen completely objectively by the athletes. Every sport, every IHSAA sport is eligible. You get 80 points for winning a state title, team or individual, 40 points for winning semi-state, 20 points for winning a regional, 10 points for winning sectional. County titles are worth 5 points. There's also some bonus points in there for like individuals being named all state, for having individuals advance in some of those sports like wrestling and swimming, track and field, where you can go on without your team. Each of those things kind of factor in. At the end of the year, we get a point total and somebody wins. This year, I'll say right off the top of the bat, 7 teams with 100 or more points. 7 athletic programs with 100 or more points. That's a record for the area. That tells you how good the year was in terms of what was going on. The top 3, the top 2 separated by just 37 points. Less than 60 points separated the top 3 spots. It was a very tight race this year. I'll give you the top 3 in reverse order. Third place went to Lapel. And to let you know how tough the competition was, Lapel had a state champion this year, and Macy Beeson, who won the girls' golf title, finished third. Second place went to Pendleton Heights, a perennial powerhouse. Had a 2-time state finalist in Andrew Harvey this year, both the shot put and the discus. Kylie Davis also helped them get some points as an all-state participant in softball and Indiana North-South All-Star. And the winner, the program of the year for the 3rd year in a row, the Shenandoah Raiders. Erica Hill had a lot to do with that. Her state championship win actually put them over the top. That was what it was, a comeback. They were in 3rd entering the spring. Actually, I think they were in 4th entering the spring. A comeback year for them. But Erica Hill, both winning the state championship in the shot put, finishing on the podium, and being an all-state participant in the discus, that pushed the Raiders over the top. Blake Surface, also being an Indiana North-South All-Star, helped them cross that finish line. So congratulations to the Raiders. 3rd time in a row, they are the Herald Bulletin, the THB Sports Program of the Year.
And just, they've been hitting on all cylinders here this run. And, we think of obviously Erica Hill, but Silas Allred was our boys athlete of the year a couple times. What those 2 accomplished, but there's so many other things. I mean, the girls, both basketball teams, the girls and boys basketball team, with postseason and county success. They've had track athletes, in addition to Erica Hill. They've had cross-country athletes advance up and down the board, where that program has been the last few years. Just every sport, they're competitive. They compile points, and they run a great program over there.
Congratulations to the Shenandoah Raiders for the 3rd year in a row, our program of the year. And now it's time to move on to our final 2 awards, two biggest awards of the night for individual athletics, our boys and girls athletes of the year, where we recognize the top overall boys and girls athlete from fall, winter, and spring sports nominees. So basically the nominees are the ones that have been named athlete of the year by THB Sports in their individual sports.
Correct.
And that's how you become a finalist for the overall athlete of the year. And it's very difficult to pick from those lists.
We have sectional champions and state finalists and career leading scorers and kids who set school records. There's so many incredible candidates that have qualified for this award. It was a banner year, no question about it.
No question. And, every year this is such a tough one to choose, because it seems like every year we've got multiple people winning state titles. We have multiple people making great runs and then just being great people. I mean, we've talked about that before, but that's a part of this too. All these athletes and the ones that have joined us tonight, you get to see that a little bit personally as you're watching the show. They're great kids, and that makes it a lot of fun too.
Indeed it is. So without further ado, let's get to our finalists for Boys Athlete of the Year. We're going to lead off with the boys, and the award is sponsored by our presenting sponsor of the evening, Pizza Hut. Our first finalist, Jacob Kinsey from Shenandoah Boys Basketball. He was the Raiders' top scorer, and he led Shenandoah to a 25-4 season and a berth in the regional finals with a team best of 13.5 points per game, and he scored more than 1,000 points in his career. Jacob Kinsey, the Boys Basketball Player of the Year. From Daleville Wrestling, Julius Gregser. He placed 8th in the state wrestling finals at 138 pounds and finished the season with a 33-5 record. He won his first 26 matches and also won the regional championship. Our next Boys Athlete of the Year finalist, Carson Smitherman from Anderson Swimming. He became the first Anderson boys swimmer to advance to the state finals since 2012 with a 3rd place finish at sectional in the 100 freestyle. He also placed 4th in the 200 freestyle. Tanner Moroz from Lapel Football, our Offensive Football Player of the Year. For their high-flying offense, he caught 51 passes for 1,011 yards and 9 touchdowns in 2020. He was part of 32 victories during his career, including 2 sectional championships. Our defensive football player of the year, Luke Bays from Pendleton Heights. He led the Pendleton Heights defense with 107 tackles in 2020, including 10 tackles for loss, and had 6.5 sacks on the season, as well as an INT. He was also the Arabians' leading rusher and will continue his career at Indiana Wesleyan. Avery Carpenter from Pendleton Heights Cross Country is our next finalist for Boys Athlete of the Year. After missing out on 4 consecutive meets for health concerns, he returned with a 9th place finish at the Delta Regional for the Arabians. He was the top area runner at semi-state, where he ran 55th. Josh Cabello from Liberty Christian Soccer scored a Liberty Christian record 21 goals and led the Lions to their 3rd sectional championship in 4 years. He broke the record with the team's lone goal in the regional semifinal loss. Nick Evans from Madison Grant Tennis was undefeated against area opponents in 2020, finishing the season 16-7 overall for the Argyles. He was all-district and was part of the first Madison Grant class to post double-digit wins all 4 years. Our next finalist for Boys Athlete of the Year, Andrew Harvey of Pendleton Heights Track. On his way to a 6th place finish at the state finals in the shot put, he swept the discus and shot put at Madison County and the HHC and sectional meets. He holds sectional records in both events. Caden Gothrop of Daleville Baseball was our pitcher of the year. He averaged nearly 2 strikeouts per inning and posted a 1.45 ERA in 2021. Of the 40 hits he gave up this season, only 2 were for extra bases, and his WHIP was less than 1. LaPel's Corbin Renahan was our golfer of the year. He averaged 42.7 shots per 9 holes and 81.7 in 18-hole events for the county champion Bulldogs. He qualified for regional with an 80 at Noblesville and fired off an 81 at the Muncie Regional. And our final nominee for Boys Athlete of the Year, Parker Ullman of LaPel Baseball. He was our player of the year. The first baseman led the area in total hits, home runs, and RBI while hitting .455 this season. He slugged an 8.57 with an OPS of 1.315 and was selected as a North-South All-Star after this season. Again, those are our finalists for Boys Athlete of the Year, presented by Pizza Hut, and what an absolutely stacked field, boys.
A flawless group. I mean, and this is what makes it so hard and so rewarding, because you look at that and you can literally give this award to every single player you just mentioned and be right in doing so. It's such a difficult thing to earn year in and year out. This is only the 4th time we've given the award, and this will only be the 3rd winner because Silas Allred kind of dominated things the last 2 years.
It was nice of him to graduate and open things up for everybody else. But yeah, it was this was not an easy call. I mean, we got state finalists, we got all state players, we got the whole package here. And but as we've said many times, there can only be one, and I've got his name right here.
Well, if you would please, sir, open up the envelope and let us know who is the Boys Athlete of the Year presented by Pizza Hut.
The 2021 Boys Athlete of the Year is track and field from Pendleton Heights, Andrew Harvey.
Congratulations, Mr. Harvey, our Boys Athlete of the Year. Again, he had a fantastic year for Pendleton Heights track. 6th place finish of the state finals in shot put. He also did well in the discus. He holds sectional records. A very, very deserving winner for the overall Boys Athlete of the Year.
And this is another one. I know we've said this a lot tonight, but this is another one where it was really a fine-tooth comb going down through the end of this. We had a lot of discussion about a lot of different players here and why they could make their case. And again, I feel like literally every single one of them was a deserving winner. For Andrew Harvey, though, to go out there and not just be a state finalist in one event, but in 2 events, that's not easy to do. And I don't remember the last time that happened on the boys' side of track and field, honestly. It's a very unique accomplishment. I think it's one that makes him deserving of being there right alongside our previous winners. Jayan Webster was our first winner, and we want to congratulate him. He's recently graduated from Police Academy. Yes. He is on his way to a career in law enforcement. And then, of course, Silas Allred. Those are 2 pretty big names to be alongside.
And he was alongside some really good candidates. We mentioned, Julius Grankser makes it to the state finals in wrestling this year. Parker Allman, North-South All-Star, had such a huge year in baseball and was, a whisker thin away from doubling. He could have been a football player of the year as well. Very nearly was. Just up and down. Carson Smitherman makes the state finals. I mean, we're running long. I could go on and on with how great this field of kids was, but congratulations, Andrew Harvey from Pendleton Heights, our boys athlete of the year.
And as you mentioned, Rob, it has been a long program. We thank everybody that has stuck with us for the entire time. And we are down to our final award of the night. It is our Girls Athlete of the Year, presented by Pizza Hut, again, recognizing the top overall girls athlete from our picks for Athletes of the Year in all the fall, winter, and spring sports. So without further ado, our nominees for the Girls Athlete of the Year, sponsored by Pizza Hut. Our first nominee for Girls Athlete of the Year, Tyra Ford of Anderson Girls Basketball, who became Anderson's all-time leading girls scorer, capping off her career with 1,946 points. She was the top scorer in the area, averaging 24.7 points, and led the Indians to their fourth straight county title. Our next finalist, Grace McKinney from Pendleton Heights Swimming. For the second straight year, she anchored a relay that made the state finals and just missed moving on in the 200 freestyle. She's helped the Arabians to 3 straight undefeated dual meet seasons. Our next finalist, Avery Ross from Pendleton Heights Volleyball. Before an injury ended her season prematurely, she was averaging 4.3 kills per set and led the Arabians to a 3rd straight Madison County title. She has also been named All HHC each of her 3 years at Pendleton Heights. Katie Jones from Pendleton Heights Cross Country is our next finalist for Girls Athlete of the Year. She's a 2-time Athlete of the Year, won the county title for the first time in 2020, and she placed in the top 10 in both sectional and regional, leading the Arabians to semi-state for the 3rd straight year. Our next finalist from Pendleton Heights Soccer, Macy Browning, who scored 7 goals in the first 2 games of the season on her way to a program record 21 goals. She added 8 assists for the Arabians and will continue her soccer career at Indiana Wesleyan. Macy Beeson from Lapel Golf is our next finalist, who won sectional, regional, and state championships during this season. The Bulldogs sophomore also won the county title with 5 under par 66 and won the sectional title by 10 strokes. Our next finalist, Kylie Davis of Pendleton Heights Softball. The player of the year for softball set a Pendleton Heights single-season scoring record with 48 runs and led the Arabians in batting, total hits, and on-base percentage. She's a shortstop with just 13 errors in 3 years and was named an All-Star in 2021. Our next finalists are Softball Pitcher of the Year, Addison Coppas of Frankton Softball. She hurled 151 innings for the Eagles, including every postseason inning of Frankton's semi-state run. She struck out 147 batters, posted an ERA of 2.73, and allowed 7 hits in 2 sectional wins. Our next finalist for Girls Athlete of the Year, Jamison Jeffries of Anderson Tennis. After finishing the regular season a perfect 16-0, she ran a record to 21-0 during sectional before falling in the regional championship. The junior was ranked 9th in the state of Indiana. And our final nominee for Girls Athlete of the Year, Erica Hill from Shenandoah, who won the state shot put championship and added to it a 4th place finish in the discus. She swept both competitions at sectional and regional and will continue her track career at the University of Miami. Again, those are our finalists for the Girls Athlete of the Year, presented by Pizza Hut. And again, guys, what a field of fantastic athletes to recognize for our Girls Athlete of the Year, our final award of the night.
A lot of deserving people in that group. I mean, you got state champs, you got state finalists, sectional champs, kids ranked. I mean, all stars. What can you say about this group of kids? Just an amazing year for girls athletics.
Absolutely amazing year. Let's go ahead and finish up the night here with our final award.
Yes, please.
The 2021 THB Sports Girls Athlete of the Year, presented by Pizza Hut, goes to Shenandoah's Erica Hill.
Erica Hill, our Girls Athlete of the Year. And again, I mean, there's not enough that can be said about the career that young woman has had for Shenandoah. I mean, she had a fantastic year this year after missing her junior season because of everything that was going on in terms of the spring sports, missing out on her junior season, to come back as a senior and basically pick up right where she left off. in terms of winning state again, placing fourth in the discus. I mean, she is probably one of the best overall athletes that any of us have had the pleasure of getting to cover in our careers.
I'm contrary to earlier when we were able to talk about, we're going to focus just on track here. That's what she's winning the award for.
Right.
But you're so right about her being one of the look. My short time covering sports, I've not seen an all around athlete like her. But in terms of track, when you think about, she won the state shot put championship. She hasn't lost a shot put competition since regional her freshman year. She's won every single one, dual meet, invitational, conference, postseason, every single shot put turn or competition since that meet she's won.
Yeah, and she's the first person I know of to open and close the award ceremony as the winner. She was our first winner. She was our last winner. And now the future hurricane, the donut queen, Erica Hill, joining us again here on the show.
Why listen to us talk about her? Let's hear her from her, Erica.
Indeed.
Hi.
Erica, hello, welcome back.
Good to be back.
So you hear that you were selected as the overall girls athlete of the year. What goes through your mind?
This is awesome. This is exciting. That means I have to speak again.
Erica, just an incredible career, obviously. What stands out to you the most? What will you remember the most from your time at Shenandoah?
Oh, gosh. Where do I start? The incredible people I met. That's just my coaches, my teammates, my staff, my fans, everyone. Definitely the janitors. Shout out to you, David, Molly, Kim, Lorraine.
I'm glad you gave a shout out to the janitors. They were the heroes the last year. I mean, we couldn't have got it done without them. When you think ahead to next year, this really is your last high school thing, award. When you think ahead to next year, what are you looking forward to most about not only being on campus down at Coral Gables, but also competing for the U?
Oh, wow. I mean, I can't wait to take a little bit of my Shenandoah heritage, my Middletown pride, and bring it down there. I want to be one of the best they've ever had, without a doubt.
You got a big family. Is there more in the pipeline? Are we going to hear more from the Hill family over the next few years here?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I believe there's a couple kids that emulate her and her great teammate Catherine Perry, who is also graduating this year. They call themselves Little Erica and Little Catherine. It's really fun to watch. What a great role model that Erica has been. Not just a great athlete, but what a great role model. And I got to give you props for that. Also, I just received a text message, Erica, from one of our Heart of Sports finalists, Shane Leisure. He says to tell you to check out Rise and Roll Donuts in Fishers. Are you familiar with that one?
I am Amish crack.
Are you writing that down?
Amish crack.
Well, Erica, thank you for joining us again. Congratulations again, not just on this award, but on an absolutely fantastic high school career. It's been a pleasure to cover you. Looking forward to seeing what you do down there at the U.
Thank you. I appreciate this so much. It's been wonderful getting to know you, gentlemen.
Congratulations, Erica. We're going to miss you.
Yes, we are.
Again,
I'm
Erica
going to miss
Hill,
you
Girls
too.
Overall Athlete of the Year. Thank you for joining us. And thanks to everybody for joining us here tonight. The 2021 THB Sports Awards here from the Herald Bulletin offices in downtown Anderson. Thanks again to our sponsors that helped to make it happen. Pizza Hut, our presenting sponsor for the evening, alongside the Madison County Community Foundation, the City of Anderson, and our Mayor, Thomas J. Broderick Jr., Prairie Farms, along with Representative Terry Austin and Representative Bob Cherry. Thanks to all those fine people for helping to make it happen. And without sponsors like them and the support of people like you in the community that support us and show the love for these awards, we wouldn't be able to keep doing it. So we're thankful for the sponsors and we're thankful for the support of the community to be able to keep doing this.
I would just want to throw in something. I just got another text message from one of our winners. Andrew Harvey, our Boys Athlete of the Year, sent me a text message. He wanted to thank us. He feels really honored and wishes he could call in, but he is under the weather from his second dose of COVID. Vaccine.
Yes.
Vaccine. He's getting the vaccine. So
Good clarification there. Thank you.
Yes. So Andrew, I definitely want to give you a congratulations on winning the award, on getting vaccinated. I know it does make you feel rough for a couple days, but it's definitely better in the long run. And he goes on to say how much he appreciates what we've done. Look, man, we love what we do. I mean, we couldn't do this without what you guys do. So it's very nice to hear that. But man, you guys honor us with what you guys do on the field. And so I'm sorry, I didn't want to.
No,
I just want to throw
absolutely.
that in there to Andrew checked in, and we get feeling better, Andrew. We'll be rooting for you at Eastern Illinois.
Absolutely. And we say this every year, but it just feels like the groups just get better and better each year that we go through, and it's such an honor to be able to go out there and just recognize in some small way all the great people that make up the athletic community here in Madison County and the surrounding areas. Thanks again to everybody who stayed with us throughout the night, but thanks to all the athletes and coaches and janitors and everybody out there who made this year possible. Believe it or not, Rob's already started on next season. It's right around the corner. There is no off season. We're ready to roll again.
Yeah, I'm already thinking about next year's award show. I wondered who's going to be here or what surprises. And, Silas has graduated, so the boys it's wide open. And now Eric has moved on, so all the girls have a chance. And, we did the moment of the year earlier, and we've talked about COVID a little bit. It didn't make one of the finals, but for me, one of the bigger moments of the year was that sunny, warm, actually it was kind of an overcast day in August when Lapel girls golf team competed at the HSC Invitational. That was the first time sports returned at the high school level. And our girls golf athlete of the year, Macy Beeson, played that day. And actually that was the day she got her trophies from last year.
Right.
We forget that she's just a sophomore. So we're going to get her for 2 more years. But that was a great moment. And, what everybody went through this year to keep it going. It was just, man, thanks so much for giving us something to do. And we look forward to doing it for the next year.
And we also want to take a moment to thank the wonderful and extremely talented Heather Brimmer, who is in the room with us. You can't see her on camera, but she's been working behind the scenes to help pull this off and to help to make this happen. Of course, also thank you to the Herald Bulletin for allowing us to do this. And on a personal note, I want to thank all of you guys for allowing me the opportunity to be a part of this again and to be the host and the MC for this event. It means the world to me that I get the opportunity to sit up here with 2 of my best friends and talk about high school sports for an evening. It means a lot to me to get to do this, so I appreciate the opportunity to be the host of the THB Sports Awards once again.
We were so glad to have you back this year, and Rob and I didn't have to fumble around on our own like we did a year ago. Also want to thank our publisher, Beverly Joyce. Without 100%. Her, there is no awards. Our editor, Scott Underwood, for giving us the opportunity to do this year in, year out. And again, every athletic director, every person who went to a game, a match, a meet, whatever this year, all of you, it was one of them. I've been doing this for longer than Rob. I've been doing this for more than 20 years. I don't really want to say how long because, it's just going to make me feel older. But, this was one of the most special years that I can remember from top to bottom. And so congratulations to everybody. And thank you truly from the bottom of our hearts.
One more thank you before we haven't mentioned our photographer, John Cleary,
yes.
And all the correspondents and people that have helped with photography over the last year. Those images, they do such a fantastic job. So I want to get that out there and let's continue on.
Indeed. So as we get ready to wrap things up, don't forget to chime in on social media. Use the hashtag THB Sports Awards. Congratulate our winners. Congratulate the nominees. Chime in on what you thought about this year's ceremony. Again, the hashtag THB Sports Awards on your favorite social media platforms. If you are one of tonight's winners, or if you were one of the Johnny Wilson or Athlete of the Year nominees, there's going to be an opportunity in the near future to be able to come out and pick up your hardware. We'll be in touch with you to help to make that happen. That's going to be a date announced soon. And look for a section celebrating tonight's winners in tomorrow's print edition of the Herald Bulletin, also online later at theheraldbulletin.com, along with the stories. Again, thank you to everybody that helped to make tonight happen. Our sponsors, Pizza Hut, the Madison County Community Foundation, the City of Anderson, and Mayor Thomas J. Broderick Jr., Prairie Farms, Representative Terry Austin, and Representative Bob Cherry. For Heather Brimmer, for George Brimmer, for Rob Hunt, I'm Zach Johnson saying goodbye and good night.
Get well, Olivia.